CYBL fam. It's been a while, but we are back here with another CYBL Today pod for you guys. It has been a long time coming, and Ty, Allen, and I have been waiting for this moment to get back on here with you guys to, give you guys some entertainment for the Central Conference and just talk about some things that have happened, while also starting off with talking about the OCC and recapping all things OCC. And so with that being said, I'd like to say, how's everybody doing on the pod today?
I'm good, man.
Yeah,
A
same
little
here.
tired,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm good. I'm ready
I
to
like
get in this pod. It's been a while, so
it
let's
has
get
been.
into it.
It really has been. It really has been. Obviously, going back, recapping OCC, there's a lot of incredible. It was, to be honest, the most memorable one. We've only had two, but I'd say it's the memorable of the two. A lot of intense action. But I want to hear from you guys some reviews on what are some things that stood out to you from the OCC, and we'll just go from there. Some highlights from OCC.
Alan, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah, I'll go first. I was pleasantly surprised with the talent level increase from Kingston. I still had it that the Barrie teams were gonna win it and take it, but I loved seeing those games. It was much closer, much more competitive. The talent pool is a bit deeper over there now, and I know you guys, went through an expansion, so it's still great to see that the depth is still there. And I think the next one is going to be just off the charts. I think it's going to be really tight. I don't think it's going to be clear cut that a Barrie team's going to take it. First, second, third, right? I think you could see some upsets. But yeah, because we've definitely, we have in Barrie a lot of team chemistry, right? And that just hasn't had the time to be built yet. But I think now, we're talking still summer season, fall season, winter season. There's still some time. So I think there's going to be lots of chemistry. I think it's going to be, So I'm excited about that. I think that for me was just memorable, just that all the games were close. There wasn't, there wasn't crazy blowouts. It was really competitive.
Yeah, what about you, Ty? Thoughts?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I think from before we get into the player standpoint, from the volunteer standpoint, I think it was a little more organized this time around compared to the first one. We kind of had a more of an idea as to what we were doing, as well as the skill level. I wasn't tapped into the Kingston League, the first OCC. That was when I wasn't at CYBL. So actually being at CYBL for that OCC was good and all. Because when I went to the first one, I was a visitor. I was in the stands, right? So I missed that part. But there was one game I watched. I think it was the Hornets, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had I remember his name. I think it was Levi might have been his name.
Levi,
If I'm not mistaken.
Caden, those guys. Yeah.
They got some good guys on that team, man. They got some bucket getters. And so it was really fun to see. I think I found it more interesting to watch the Kingston games than the Barrie games, just because those were guys who I didn't know. So it's kind of easier to watch it and kind of, see where the skill level was at. I remember there was one player, I can't remember his name, but I went up to him after the game, I'm like, yo, you're a bucket, bro. You're nice, man. And so it's kind of it was kind of shocking to see that they have some very talented players over at Kingston, and it's even more interesting because they're younger. Compared to the Barrie guys as well. But I think that I missed the finals for the first OCC. But I believe it was the Warriors and the Strikers. But this OCC with the Strikers and True North, it was a crazy game, man. It was a crazy game.
Hold on. Can we pause? Can we pause for 1 second before you get into that part right there? Because you just mentioned True North, and we have to break all of this down, folks, because I have to say that every single one of us was wrong in our predictions of what was going to happen. There's not one of us that got this right, even in the slightest.
Yeah.
So can we just talk about what happened with True North? They went from a team, mind you, back in the Central and Barrie, where they were sitting, in the third seed, right? The last secure spot before the wild card spots. They were sitting in the Legacy division, to then get all the way, first of all, to upset the Lions, to literally take the Lions out to get to the finals, losing in the finals, honestly, without Thomas Williams, which I think changes the dynamic of that game entirely, but losing in the finals, to then going to the OCC and doing what they did. To be honest, almost getting knocked out in the first round by the Sharks. To be honest with you, the Sharks win that game. It's a different story out here right now.
Yeah.
But like, talk to me about that. What happened? How do you feel? Like, what do you think from your watching, analyzing, that brought True North to this place of being our OCC champions?
I can go first for this one. Honestly, I think it stems back to the playoffs because I didn't have True North going to the finals, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time ago. Bear with me here. So I don't remember my predictions, but I know for sure I did not have True North going to the finals. And they did. They went to the finals, and obviously they lost to the Strikers, but that was in its own technically a Cinderella story just because, like, man, I didn't have them going to finals. And they looked like a good team, too, throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it was very impressive to see. And then on top of that, they kind of just carried that momentum going into the OCC, and they were moving like a well-oiled machine. They had good chemistry, you know, guys were comfortable with each other. And so that kind of just helped them to, you know, progress to the OCC. And even then when they played the Strikers, like at this point, I'm like, well, surely they're not beating the Strikers. They lost to them in the Barry finals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. It was a great game. It was a close game, right? Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think in the finals for the Central Conference, it was a blowout, or like it wasn't close towards the end. But this was like down to the wire, right? It was pretty much a game winner type scenario with Graham and whatnot. So it was kind of crazy to see that they kind of just like kept that composure, and you know they were poised, you know, and so it was really impressive to see. Yeah, I think that's just credit to the coach as well as the players for that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Alan?
Yeah, no, like I think there's a lot of things here. I think first of all, they like I like yeah, I still look back at that team and I don't understand how they made it to the finals. So, listen, that's not, I just can't even fathom how it happened, but like I'm pretty sure they weren't just missing Thomas in the finals. I'm pretty sure they were missing Graham Knott as well in the finals.
You might be right. You might be
and
right
I'm pretty positive about that.
I think you are. Yeah.
So they got them both back for the OCC, right? Now,
this is true.
They're playing, you know, they're playing good, but they barely win their first game, okay? Barely win it. And the team that played the Flames barely lost their game, okay?
Yeah.
So now we're going over, and True North is playing the Flames, and they are getting destroyed. Like, I'm reffing the other game, and I'm looking over, and I'm like, oh yeah, True North is out. Like, they're not even going to move on to the next round here. And because it was the Hornets were just they were destroying the team on my side, and Sharks, then a miracle happened all in a moment's time. The second half started for both games. The Sharks make this crazy comeback, and then True North makes this crazy comeback, and Keel just goes off, like just vintage Keel, just hitting everything. Every shot's going. The Sharks breaking the game close, and then True North wins, which means that True North moves on. So even that was just a miracle that they made it through.
Literally.
And then, I don't know, like, to me, everything that happened at the end there, like at the finals, that was a Cinderella story. It was just the best. It was the best, man. Like, to bring it like that close to, you know, they were losing. It was, I don't even know what I don't remember how many seconds were left at the time, but I remember Graham getting that steal, and that was the killer blow right there. When he stole that and put that, and that for me, like, just crazy, man. I don't know.
That's crazy. All of that was absolutely insane. And so I guess we could all say without a shadow of a doubt, I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody here, but would you say that was the most exciting game of the OCC?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and you know what? I have to say, it's been a long time for us having an exciting finals game in general.
Yes.
So those seem to be like few and far between. I don't know what it is exactly about the finals that for some reason just doesn't turn out the way it should. I mean, in Kingston, we had a killer finals last season, so I can't speak to that. But like in Barrie, it's been a struggle to get some good finals out of here. So this was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Yeah, you got to say that Graham steal fast break changes absolutely everything. Big moment for sure. And so, what do you think, like, from when you look at, like, some of the players that showed up in the OCC, like, who are some standouts for you guys, would you say?
Yeah, I can go. Caden definitely stood out to me.
Mm.
You kind of told me, coming into it that, he reminded you a bit of Aiden Stockton, and yeah, he definitely did. Like he was great, and yeah, he was a standout for sure.
Mm. He's still
Thomas
only in grade
Williams,
10. That's true.
which is great. I mean, he's got a lot of time to go, right? Thomas Williams for me was huge. Like, I mean, I think definitely I think that whole team's overlooked a bit. Like, and that's probably obviously why we overlooked them. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think Thomas Williams like just had a fantastic,
Phenomenal.
fantastic playoffs. He really rose to the occasion. So I really like that. And then yeah, I think the strikers. I loved every one of them, and I feel sad for all of them. They were fantastic. I really thought they were gonna put the ball in River's hands at the end of that game. I really thought it was going to River.
Yeah, he's been clutch, man.
He's been
in
clutch.
so many moments.
Yeah. So those are some for me.
Okay, that's awesome. What about you, Ty?
Well, I mean, this guy Allen stole Thomas for me. I think Thomas had a good OCC, but was more so from like a leadership role. I remember like as I was reffing, sometimes you can hear the players talk, right? And he was kind of like, I mean, like during the game against, I believe it was the Sharks. That was game 1, if I'm not mistaken. I was reffing that game. He just kind of maintained his composure the whole time. Obviously, like you can get fluctuated and like all over the place in a close game, and it's like you want to advance and whatnot, but no, the whole time he was kind of just calm and reserved and whatnot. And I think that goes a long way, especially when it's somebody who's been in the league. He's been in the league for time now. He's young, but he's been in the league for time, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think he was on the Angels at some point, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
he was on the Angels at some point.
Yeah.
He's been here for a long time. I'm pretty sure
here for some time.
He started in like grade 7 or something like that, back when grade 7 was allowed.
Yeah, so he's been here for some time, and he's still got a lot of time left. So it's exciting to kind of see how he transitions, and obviously with Keel not being there, True North, I think that this is a blessing in disguise for him as a player as well. It means more touches for him. But anyways, back to the OCC. I think as a whole, I was a fan of the strikers. I think like going into the OCC, those guys, they all have, as a team, they have good culture and like good chemistry,
Can we talk about that for a minute? Ty sitting on the strikers bench at the end of the game, and then immediately ditching them as soon as True North wins to celebrate.
I was just there for the vibes. As soon as you started laughing, I knew. As soon as you started laughing, I was there for the vibes, man. Oh, my team didn't make it to the OCC, so I was a neutral fan. I was there for good hoops. That's what I was there for. Good hoops.
The hoops and the eats. Let me tell you, he's a politician.
Dude, that guy flipped so fast. As soon as he knew who was winning, he flipped, man. He flipped.
Nah, I started like jumping with them and everything too. I remember that.
My goodness, bro.
That was the best. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just, when he said he was a big fan of the strikers, I was like, yeah, I remember that. Big fan right till the end.
We all do. I remember he was even talking to me as a ref, bro. He was like, I was like, where did you come from, bro, defending?
Good times, man.
It was a good time, though. Good time.
But yeah, no, I think they had good culture and good chemistry. And I think, like I mentioned previously on a podcast, having Braden as like the assistant coach, I think helps that, right? Because he has a relationship with a lot of the players from when he played. So just seeing like the culture and the chemistry as well as the respect that they had for one another, it was very, very fun to see. So I'd say as a whole, obviously they didn't win it all, but I think I had them going to the OCC finals, if I'm not mistaken, which I also had the Flames, but
well, we could talk about those too. We could talk about the upsets. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. The Flames seem to just disappoint me every season. All up to them, but it's just every season I pick them, and they just don't. I thought last season was the season. They're going to win the finals in the Central Conference. They're going to go to OCC. They're going to win the OCC. Obviously, they did not do that, which is unfortunate, but it happens, And I think that them not doing that gave us a really good OCC finals, And so,
What do you think? What do you think right now does, just to give a little bit of, I guess, encouragement into the Flames? They've had some pretty hard hits, I guess, over the last couple of seasons.
yeah,
You think about them getting upset and knocked out in the first round back in the fall season, right?
yeah,
With like all of those contention hopes
yeah,
in mind.
yeah,
Then from there, you see, winter season, how they, by the skin of their teeth, make the third seed after being the favorites to come out of the Central. And then, in the OCC, fall short again with the third. So my question is, what do you think do they need in this season? Obviously, they're in right now. What is the recipe for the Flames to get over the hump and out of this kind of just falling short from expectations, I would say?
yeah. Just give me a second here. I'm pulling up their stats.
Yeah.
So they are 2-1 right now. They're the
Mm-hmm.
3 seed. Honestly, I think that they just kind of need to maintain their composure and kind of just stay calm. I think this is a blessing in disguise, given the fact that they're not the 1 seed, because it can build up a lot of pressure. And so they kind of just understand, like, they're not the team they were like last season or 2 seasons ago. I can't remember which. I think it might have been last season
Mm-hmm.
where they had like crazy, crazy, crazy. They had a crazy offense. I think
Their
that
offense
was
was
this.
wild.
That was the
Their
season
offense
that the
was,
Lions won. Bear with me here, the gears are turning. But they had that one season where their offense was amazing. And they were just like a powerhouse. I think Ryder was averaging like 25 and
yeah,
12 or something like that, something ridiculous like
something
that.
crazy. Something crazy.
And so I just think, like, moving on this season, like, okay, you guys aren't the 1 seed, but you're
Mm-hmm.
still there. And so far, it's looking like that playoff spot is safe, not secure, but it's safe enough where you don't
Mm-hmm.
have that pressure anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they just got to stick it through this season, just focus on getting those wins, racking up those wins, building the chemistry, because they have like some new people on the team.
They
It's
do.
a different team
They
from
do.
the last 2, 3 seasons. And so just getting familiar with everyone's play style. But I think that this would definitely be a good season for them. And like they would have a deeper run just because there is no added pressure being the 1 seed, because it can be a lot to be the 1 seed. We've seen that in like the NBA or anything where you have that 1 seed team that gets upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Mm-hmm.
expectation is so high where, oh, these guys were so dominant. They need to go ahead and win every single game, right? So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. Thoughts,
Yeah.
Alan?
Yeah, I got a few thoughts on that. Just I think that, like in the last few seasons we've seen they've just, yeah, like Ty said, it's the composure. Like they've lost their emotions in the midst of the game. They get too wrapped up in, oh, we're losing or this or that, and they're allowing their emotions to dictate it. Whereas, like, I'd say that was the difference with Nathan. Is like, not that Nathan can't get like that, and he can, but Nathan always believed he could bring that game back. He always believed. It didn't matter
Always.
how much they were losing. He knew in his heart, like, I can bring this game back, and he did it multiple times. I'm thinking about that Strikers game where he
Man, that was
dragged them
crazy.
back in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah,
insane.
against what was that was a good team. Yeah,
KJ?
yeah, that was a good team. KJ, it was KJ.
KJ and I forget
Yeah.
what they're. I think can't remember who they're. I think Riem was on that team.
Vriam was on that team. No, it was a good team. And then they did it to us too. We were winning. That was the OCC season. We were winning with Aiden Stockton. We had a good team, and we were right there. And there was only like a minute left, and they just hit everything,
Does it hurt
and it
talking
was just.
about this?
Oh yeah, it does. It does. I unfortunately I now have the legacy of letting down two of the greats, not getting them to the OCC. So it's I had a great coaching record prior to those. So
You did.
yeah, now it's been a big letdown, but oh well. No, but so it's just one of those things. Nathan always believed, and I just didn't see that with their team. I don't see that with the Flames a lot. Once they get down and out, they lose faith that they can bring this thing back. They lose faith in each other, in themselves. And I just to talk on the OCC, I think someone that was deeply missed that probably not everyone noticed was Hudson Bishop. That guy
Wow.
was their
Forgot about him.
workhorse. He did
Forgot about him.
everything down in the paint for them. And
Yeah.
and he couldn't make it, obviously. So I don't think that was as much their composure as it was they were missing a huge piece to that team. That it's hard. It's hard when you've got to do all the rebounding and then try and do all the scoring too, right? And I just think that's where Hudson really did the defense for them there. So. But no, I think I agree with Ty. I think this season there's a little bit less pressure. It's actually good to get the loss out of the way right off the hop. They instead of losing, first or second round of the playoffs for the first time the whole season, you work out the issues now, right? And then that way you know what adversity is like, because they never had adversity. The last 2 seasons they just dominated teams. It wasn't like they struggled.
This is true. This is true. No, you guys are right. I think you guys have said almost everything that has to be said about the Flames. I think when it comes down to it, I think there's a level of, I think it's actually been good for them to go through these moments. I think these moments are preparing them because they're a franchise that has had a lot of success in the last couple of years, to be honest with you. And so to have these kind of challenges can build resilience in you so that, you can actually learn some things. I always say every team I've ever coached, whenever we have had hard losses in the past, I tell our teams, I was like, hey guys, you actually you learn more from losing than you do from winning. So these games where like you're losing like this and it seems like a strain and it seems like, man, like we've just let everybody down, we let ourselves down, all these things. This is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, what are some ways that I can grow from here? What are some ways that I can actually be shaped in not just my basketball ability, but my character on the court? Because that is actually a huge component, which we are all focusing on and talking about when it comes to the game in the high stakes moments, right? So that's huge. I'm gonna ask one more question here about CYBL about the OCC before we transition to our summer season here. But the last question for you: what do you think? What did this year's OCC say about the growth of CYBL? What do you think? What are some of the things that you think? I think you guys hit on a little bit of it, but I just want to kind of hit a little bit more. What are some of those things you think this year?
Yeah, I'll kick us off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. So. First OCC was 6 teams. Loved it. That was great addition. But I think hopefully what we are growing is a community, right? We're growing
I like that.
a family that's not just here, but it's Kingston and whatever other leagues we end up making in the future. That people will be connected through that they can relate. They can be like, hey, yeah, if they see each other later on in life, oh, you were in you played it, like CYBL, that's so cool, so did I, and perhaps that it changed their lives, and that's really our goal here, that we are changing hearts and lives towards the Lord, and that's kind of my hope, and my when I see all those kids, I see the future. I see the possibility of people serving the Lord. And but I saw some different teams talking to each other, and I just liked seeing that. I liked that it wasn't like this rivalry, which it's fun to have rivalry. I'm all for that, but like it's also fun, like it's good to like have that in the moment, but also be able to see past that moment and see, hey, we're just one family here.
Yeah. No, that's good for sure. I love that. Before you go over to Utah, I just want to agree with that, because I think that, one of the key things for me seeing as well was actually the highlights, not just only in the players, but also in the volunteers. I thought that was cool, watching the volunteers kind of come together and mesh and realize that hey guys, we might be in different cities, but we're actually working towards the same mission. We have the same mission here, and we're all on mission here. And it's so cool to come together and to bring those strengths and differences together in one community. So, no, it's really cool, bro. It's really cool. Ty?
Yeah, man. Just starting off with the player aspect, I think the growth and the development from like I've been at CYBL pretty much since the start in Barry,
Yeah,
and so I've
pretty
gotten to
much.
see like well I've been there for
I
some
don't know if
time,
there's anyone
obviously.
earlier, bro.
Yeah, that's true. But so I've been there from the start and the growth, and I've been there through the ups, the downs. I've been there through it
Mm-hmm.
all, right? And so kind of just going to the OCC and seeing Kingston and how they've grown and developed from who they were as a league, like the season prior up until this point. It's a lot, man. Like you get a lot of younger kids who come in, kids who come from different backgrounds, and you get to see that exposure that they have to like a community. Like obviously I don't want to be like but give us a pat on the back, man, because it's like we allow these kids to come into a safe place, right, where they can kind of develop that relationship with God and
Mm-hmm.
enjoy basketball at the same time. And there's not a lot of places that give you that, right, that give you that
Mm-hmm.
kingdom culture as well as like
Yeah,
basketball or a sport or something, right? So it teaches them a lot of skills. And like again, going back to Barry, like there's kids who have come whose lives have been touched, whose lives have been
seriously.
changed. Like, I can give an example of like Aiden Stockton, right? That's an
Yeah.
individual who, when he first came into the league, right, he was a different person than he was now today, right? And he's kind of developed
Mm-hmm.
into a man who's so it's good to see. And that's the same with Kingston. On top of that, like obviously I don't know the players on that type of level, but you can really see that they're more comfortable in that
Mm-hmm.
environment. The coaches are more comfortable with the players, and the players, like you guys had mentioned, the players are more comfortable with each other, meshing with each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as well as the volunteers. I was pretty tired. I was out of it, man. Like I was tired, so obviously I was there to ref, and so I talked, but I talked to some
Early mornings,
volunteers
bro.
though. Early mornings are always rough. They always get me, but no, I spoke to some volunteers from Kingston, and it was very nice to see. Like, it feels like not weird, but it feels different. When you see it's like another league of volunteers at CYBL that do the same thing as you. But then it's like, and then when you watch like the way like you and Sydney would talk to those guys, it's like, my goodness, like they're just like us for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
crazy to see how there's like a whole other league operating, because even like on the live stream, we're not necessarily seeing the volunteers. We're watching the
that's
players
true.
play.
That's
So it's
true.
fun to see like how the volunteer dynamic is there compared to Barry, and I give grace to Kingston because they're younger. That
Yeah.
would be more of my, I'm a little out of place. Well, no, I'm just kidding. But no, it's good to see like they're just younger volunteers as well. There's some. I'm trying to remember his name. I had a good conversation with him, but
Alvin?
he was in. Yeah, Alvin was the one who was going to Queens, right?
Yep.
If I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. Yeah. So yeah, I had a conversation with Alvin about Queens. He was talking about how he was going to Queens and all that stuff. So they got young volunteers there. So it's nice to see. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. Then we got older volunteers. They got kids and all that. There's me, but no, the growth is
Oh
crazy,
wow.
man. It's nice to see. It's nice to see for sure.
Good.
Oh my gosh, Ty. Oh my. Wow. Well, I'm glad for what you bring to Barry, man. It's awesome.
It's not
Okay.
somebody has to bring the youth, man.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hey,
need
we
that
got
bridge.
Josh, we got Braden.
It's
Now, you
true.
know what? Now it's
We have
better. Now it's
it's
better.
been
It's
growing.
better
It's been
now.
growing.
It's
Yeah.
growing in terms of the youth side, and I really enjoy that because I don't feel like the only youngin.
Justin as well.
Justin's there too,
Yeah,
Josh and Braden. So shout out to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
There was a time, peak CYBL, where it was like, and keep in mind, I was like maybe 17, 16 at that time too.
yeah.
So
Good.
I was a young fella, and there was someone my age. But no, man, like it's good to see. All jokes aside, it's nice to see the growth and, the connections that everybody has.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And honestly, I'm just so excited for. I love this tradition we have of OCCs, and I'm excited to see how it grows as the league grows, as potentially things continue to grow, continue to expand. Like, I'm just excited to see the community grow. Like, this could be the hub for Christian sport, Christian basketball.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that is a really amazing thing to see, that there is a place for the restoration of basketball in terms of the Christian focus of it here at CYBL through something like the OCC. And so, God knows what he's doing, because we always say it's his league, and he knows what he's doing. He's putting the pieces together and doing all the things, and we get to experience it and come alongside it, and be partnering with it, and I think that's awesome too. So,
yeah.
but yeah, we're about to transition here. Alan's gonna go off the pod here in a moment, but before Alan, you leave, any final words for us?
Yeah, no, I hope you guys have a good rest of your pod here because I'm looking forward to listening myself. I'm sorry, guys, that I haven't been able to watch and keep up with the summer season. I have been trying to keep up as much as possible. I've seen some scores. I've seen a few key players rising. So it's exciting, and I look forward to hearing about it actually myself. I'm going to be listening with the rest of you as Daniel and Ty take us into the season. So I'm gonna log off here, but I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, talk to you later, Alan. We love you, man. We'll see you
Have a good
soon.
night, Alan.
Take care,
All
bro.
right. God bless.
Blessings, bro. All right, let us transition here, Mr. Ty. We're gonna transition here into our summer season. Talk about just some of the dynamics this summer season. I feel like this summer is really different than any season that we've had previously. I don't know, it just feels different to me in so many ways. Why don't you talk about that for me? What is your review from being on the ground? Because I'm not on the ground. I'm watching the live stream, but being on the ground every week, this summer.
Well, first and foremost, I think it's a good season. I think it's been a fun season. I think that this season is, I don't want to say weaker, but I want to say that this season, like the talent level is a little more spread apart, just in a sense, like from consensus, like time and time again, we've had this conversation where we feel like the Destiny division is significantly stronger than the
Stronger.
Legacy division,
Yep.
right? And I feel like that's not the case like this
Mm,
season. I feel like throughout the Destiny and the Legacy divisions, it's like the teams kind of every team took a hit in terms of skill.
yep.
I think
Yep.
it's not as like we don't have teams that have crazy, crazy, crazy high firepowered offenses, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
season, it's more so like a grit and grind type of season,
Mm-hmm.
where it's
Mm-hmm.
like the teams that are really willing to get down and dirty are
Yep.
the teams that are on top. Like the Strikers, for example, they have a great defense.
Man, their defense is impressive.
They they have
Wow.
it's not a star player league right now.
No.
It's star player season. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
the Strikers, I think I don't even know who their leading scorer is, but if I'm not mistaken, they're not averaging more than 20. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not. No,
And it's the same thing with True
they're
North. They
not.
don't have like that star player.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like they're a team, they're moving like a
Yeah.
team, and they're all
Yeah.
averaging like within the teens in terms of points, right?
Yeah.
But they're
This is
still
true.
3-0 because they are playing like a well-oiled machine. So I'd
Wow.
say like in terms of stars and like star power, it's not a league or not a season where we're relying heavily on like talent like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to take back what I said. It's not a weaker season. It's more of like a team oriented season for the
Mm.
teams that are top dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And just from like obviously watching the games, not being on the ground. That's something that I've seen, and I think that like even just the team building committee tried this summer to orchestrate things in such a way that because we knew what was coming in terms of
Yeah.
the new players that's coming. We have so many new
Mm-hmm.
players this season, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's like how do we spread it all out? How do we balance it all out? And, so far so good. Obviously, you have a few missing pieces from games, but it does look like a good amount of competition throughout from what I've seen. And so that brings me to my next question to you is what team would you say has impressed you the most this summer? You can name one team, two teams. What teams have impressed you the most?
So for the legacy, dude, I'm gonna go with True North.
Mm,
Obviously, they just came off of the season they had OCC and made it to the final. Again, I didn't think that they were. I didn't even know Keel wasn't gonna be here this season, and
yep.
so that
He's
was
on
like
vacation.
right. He's taking his vacation and whatnot, but I didn't even know he wasn't gonna be there. But then when I saw he wasn't there, I was like, how is True North gonna look this season? But no,
Mm,
they haven't skipped a beat.
not at
They
all.
look good. They're the one seed. They're comfortable. They look like they know what they're doing. They got
Yeah.
good chemistry, and they're one of the teams that moves like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Another team I would say I'm really surprised about keeping in the legacy division, the Warriors. I think
Wow. Yes. We got
the
to talk about
Warriors
that
look
too.
nice. They look
They look
nice.
nice.
I'm a touch on Parker a little later, but the Warriors, they're
Yes.
looking good, man. They're looking good. And for the Destiny division, I'm gonna say the Knights. I think the Knights
Mm-hmm.
are very because they kind of had a little bit of a rebuild there.
Mm.
I think Michael was there last season, but other than that, Michael Liam might be like the only two players off the top of my head that I can remember who were there from last season. So they had quite a bit of retooling, but they're looking like a good team as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting the Knights to be the 2 seed,
No,
and they
not like
could go
this.
ahead and be the 1 seed too.
They could. That
So
game that they lost was extremely close. Like it
yeah,
came down to the last seconds of the game.
yeah, yeah,
So it really was anybody's game. Like you think about that game against the Flames, right? 3-point game.
yeah,
Mind you, that they were missing 2 of their key players that game too.
yeah, for sure.
So
No, they're
so
looking fresh, man.
so that's awesome, bro. Yeah. So and I would say like to go right off of that, like my team that I was looking at to impress me was the Warriors. Like I'm
Hmm.
watching a team that is just normally when you see a rebuild team completely
Hmm.
new and fresh, you
Hmm.
don't see the team clicking like that.
No,
But
no,
they, man, like it was like right out of
yeah,
the gate, game one. They just, it's like they've been
they
playing
look good.
together for. They look like they've been playing together like for a year.
Yeah, yeah,
It's impressive, man. And like I'm
for
like, man,
sure.
they to me like True North. I gotta give True North the flowers. That is always gonna be all in all my team. And I think that right now they've earned themselves a 1 seed, and they're gonna keep that. But they
Absolutely,
gotta they gotta keep their eyes on the Warriors, because the
for
Warriors right
sure.
now, they look like they're coming, but they don't have the experience. So again,
Yeah.
this is regular season we're talking about. You know what I'm learning, Ty? I'm gonna tell you what I'm learning. Not to get too hype on the regular season. I like
No, no.
if there's anything that I have learned, is to
Yeah.
slow my horses in the regular
Yeah,
season, bro.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Because like where it all truly matters in the playoffs, we've seen teams that we thought
Yeah.
fall off, and others rise. So it's like
Hmm.
changes a lot of things.
Hmm.
And so with that being said, what would you say? Which team would you say is better right now than their current record is showing? What would you say right now?
I think that the Rams, for sure, I don't think they're 0-2 bad. I think they definitely just need to figure out like the absences and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rams definitely can get up there. And it's still open too. Like the Angels are 1-2,
Still
Lions are 1-2,
wide open,
right?
bro. Wide open.
So that 3 seed is there. I don't think they're gonna touch the 1 or 2 seed, obviously, but
Yeah.
that 3 seed is there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that they're good. I think
Yeah.
they're good. They're not 0-2 bad for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
if anybody on the Rams ends up watching this, like you guys are good this season, man. Just keep it pushing, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
As for the Destiny division, um. it's a rough one. This is a question I saw this and I was like, oh boy, I don't know. It might be a little biased, but I don't think the Eagles are 0-2 bad, honestly. I think
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I don't know, they're an interesting team. I don't want to dive too deep into them, obviously. And for those watching who don't know, that is my team that I coach. So
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
sensitive top pick. But yeah, man, I think that the Eagles are not 0-2 bad. I don't think even the Golden Gates aren't 0-3 bad. I think like these guys all have the opportunity to win a game. Like the Golden Gates had a pretty close game, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken, last week when I was there. It was pretty close, or they had a run. So they show a lot of potential. I think it's just unfortunate it happens, like not everybody is gonna go ahead and be like above 500. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
have a positive record where they eating good at the top of the seating. Somebody has to not be winning games.
Hey, it's
And
true.
so yeah, I don't think any of the teams that I'm looking at the bottom of the conferences are as bad as the record says. I
Yeah.
just think that there's a lot that these guys need to figure out. Golden Gates got a lot to figure out. Eagles, we
Hey.
got a lot to figure out. Rams, they got some stuff to figure out, but I think that the season is still open enough that they can get to it too.
Well,
Because
you're right. It's like if you look at both of your teams right now, the 0-3 and the 0-2, or like you guys, your point differential is -14 and -16.
yeah,
Like if you actually think about that, like obviously the -16, that's 8 points down per game if you average that out.
hmm,
The -14 there, bro. Like you're talking about that. That's no more than like what 4.33
yeah,
points
yeah,
per game kind of
yeah,
thing. 5 points per game almost per
hmm,
game down, and like that the gaps aren't very big, so that
yeah,
they
no,
could flip that in a moment.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're definitely good. I think that, especially in the Destiny division, those bottom two teams are a little more. I think they should be a little more comfortable in terms of where they're at. Just because I think they're talented, and obviously, like now we have the wild card, and I think the wild card is a blessing for a lot of teams. It
Yes,
just
it is.
allows us to have those teams that maybe didn't have a fair season. You just give them an extra shot, and who knows? Maybe this is the season where a wild card team wins it all, right? So.
That would
Never
be
say
crazy,
never.
though.
Never say never these days, man.
No, it's true. It's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true, man. And with that, like, it kind of the question ties into the other question, but which team do you think has another level they haven't reached yet? Like, what would you say is that team that still has another level to get to?
To unlock.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm probably gonna have to give it to like one of the lower teams. Like I think it could go either way. I'd say the Angels. I think the Angels still need to be unlocked a little bit. Like
Yeah.
they've had
Yeah.
games where they've missed players. I think Achilles missed like
Yeah.
the first game of the season
Yeah.
when they played the Strikers, right?
Which was
And
huge.
that
We
would
don't
have helped.
realize how important he is.
No, he is. He's a good ball handler, and they were like getting just annihilated in that 2-3 zone trap, right? So having a ball handler there just limits the amount of turnovers that they have going into it. So I'd say the Angels still have to be unlocked. I think the Rams more so just because of the absences that they've had and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think that they got a little unlocking. Golden Gates. I mean, we didn't really get to see much with Marco. Obviously, he
The
went
injury
down
is
with
pretty
the
sad.
injury, and
Yeah.
my prayers go out to him and his recovery, and hopefully we get to see him again this season.
Mm-hmm. Any
But I
any
think the
updates
Golden
there
Gates.
or no?
No, I
Updates on
haven't.
his
No, no,
return?
no, no. I
Okay.
haven't had any updates yet. Oh, I
I'd like to
will.
know what that is.
Yeah, I'll figure that out this
You gotta
Friday.
be
I'll
the
check in.
Shams, bro. You gotta be the
Yeah,
Shams.
man. I have to. I'll start reporting. I'll drop it in the group chat. Let everyone know. But yeah, no, I'll definitely look into that this Friday. Yeah, I mean, with the Eagles too, I think that they've also had games where they're lacking a little bit, and I think they could be unlocked. So honestly, I think the only teams that I wouldn't say have unlocking to do is the Strikers, the Knights, the Flames, True North, and the Warriors. But the rest of these teams, I think they all need to be unlocked, and I think with time they can be unlocked.
I think the Eagles are a dangerous one because the record does not show what they can potentially do when it matters the most. I
Yeah,
mean, as long as you have Nathan Lanning on your team,
anything's
there's
possible, right?
anything is possible with Nathan Lanning on
Yeah,
your team. You're talking about a two-time champion. You're talking about a
yeah,
two-time Finals MVP. You know,
yeah.
like you're talking about a guy. He literally has won the sharpshooter award.
He's done it all. Yeah.
Almost every season, it should be named after him when he retires.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
man.
what I
Like
mean?
that's his award. Yeah,
Like, he literally, you're talking about a team that, like, literally, Aiden and him literally took the Golden Gates. They upset the Flames and went all the way to the finals. Like,
yeah, man.
this is what you're talking about right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so I look at the Eagles and I say, man, nobody, please don't sleep on them. Please don't do that. Don't walk into that game and say they're 0-2, man. This is baby food. Don't walk into this
yeah,
game saying that because they in a moment switch. I'm waiting for that switch. Every
yeah,
game,
man.
every game I watch the Eagles, I'm like that switch got flipped. It's got like now,
Yeah,
now,
yeah, for
now.
sure. Yeah, hopefully.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man. I guess you.
yeah, yeah,
I get you for sure. No, they've definitely had. I don't know. I think it's the second half that really. We just need to work on composure and coming out of the second half because when we played the Knights, we were up by 8 points going into halftime. And we
crazy.
ultimately lost by 4. When we played the Strikers, I think we were down 2 at halftime. So this
Yeah,
isn't even
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
we're getting blown out off rip. No, the game's close, game's competitive, right? It's just a
Yeah,
matter of we gotta know how to close games. And
that's
so
true.
once we figure that out, I think that they're a scary team for sure. And that's not even me being biased.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. I mean, the thing obviously is always, we talk about it, but like Destiny is strong, and even though
Yeah.
Legacy is stronger, Destiny has
Hmm.
always been extremely strong, man. Just like
Yeah.
historically speaking, and so
Yeah.
it's a hard division to fight in. It's like a dog
Right.
fight. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
always.
It's a
Yeah.
dogfight in that
Yeah.
division. But I think at the end of the day, with like we said, with the wild card, that even makes something happen. Because imagine
Hmm.
one of the Destiny teams ended up going over in the wild card in Legacy. doing
Yeah.
damage there and gets themselves to the final. Like, we don't know what could happen.
Yeah, man. For sure.
So anyways, that's awesome. The next question for you here is, which player have you seen make the biggest jump since last season?
That's a good question. In terms of last season and jumps, I'm really trying to think here. That's a hard question. It is. You got me stumped. I don't know if I would say I've seen a player take a tremendous leap, to be honest. And that's more so just because this season, it's not like a crazy season where we've had like star players per se. Like, to me, I think
I got
in
one
this
player in my
league,
mind. I don't know.
we'll get to that. I'm gonna have to hear that. But
Yeah.
I think there's only like 3 real star players in CYBL this season. And honestly, like the
We're talking about
rest of it is
superstars.
like superstars. Yeah, superstars. I think there's only 3 real superstars in CYBL right now. And even then, like, that
Who would
might
you
be
say they are?
I think,
Let's
like,
rock
based
the
on
boat
this
a little
season, I
bit.
think Nathan, obviously. I think Nathan's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it to Cody, and I'm going to give it to Parker. I think they are superstars this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
No
know.
Ryder.
There's not this season, no. I think
Okay.
Ryder, yeah, I think he's had a
Two-time
slow start
MVP?
this season. He's 2-time MVP. Obviously, I had him on my MVP slip last season. I was a strong advocate for him for the MVP, but his numbers dropped a lot this season. I think I checked earlier, he's averaging like 16 points, and I know that they've only played like 3 games. Yeah,
and
and I think he averaged like
7 rebounds.
Yeah, man, and he was averaging a double-double last season, like a 27-point double-double, And so that's a significant drop in his numbers, and I think he also had an interesting game against the Warriors. So I definitely think this season he's kind of dropped out of that superstar. I don't think he's still a phenomenal player, obviously, but I think that there is really only 3 superstars in CYBL this season. And so that does make it hard, because typically when I think of like jumps and leaps, I'm thinking of guys who maybe take a step and forward, and now they're more so in that superstar role where we're looking at them as a first option. But I really honestly haven't seen that much this season.
That's fair. You mentioned one though, Cody Giles.
Cody
took a massive leap from this
was that
season
your
to
guy?
That was my guy.
You know what? I think that he, in terms of leap, I don't necessarily, for me, I don't say it's a leap. Like, I think Cody was nice last season.
He was nice, bro. He's been nice for a couple of seasons.
He's been nice. That's why I'm like,
But
for me, it's not like he took a jump, because he's been nice. Like, I've seen him.
Not
He's
like
been
this,
nice.
though.
And even then, I think him just playing with Reem last season. I know Reem would be on and off, but him just playing with Reem, like, obviously he had to share more touches. Whereas this season, obviously, he's kind of been a little more. He's gotten the green light a little more, and so he's been able to do it. Because I think he averages 24 points per game, if I'm not mistaken.
As opposed to, he averaged 14.5 points a
game. Yeah. So that also just comes with him getting more shots, more touches, and being more of a focal point on the offense. But I mean, I can see why you would say he is taking the jump for sure. And I agree with that. He is definitely more comfortable this season. So I guess I could say he's taking the jump. He's up there, my superstars. So that's all respect to him, man.
Yeah, no, I think it's impressive. And to be honest, you know what I see from him, which I think is incredible to see in the midst of kind of what they've been facing as a team the last 2 games, which have been pretty tough, is like, he is poised, man.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, he never gives... Like, I'm watching him play. That's the attitude I love to see at CYBL. First, number one, he plays with joy. Every time he's out there.
Yeah, he's always happy.
Always happy. The joy is just, like, beaming through him. I'm watching the post-game interviews, and he loses, and he's still got the joy. And it's just like, wow, bro. Like, who is this guy? He exemplifies what we're all about. Number 2, the second thing is, what I'm seeing from this guy is that, like, he in games where they've been down like significant margins, he's pushing the pace like it's a playoff game.
Yeah, he's still playing.
You know what I mean? Like, he's going 110%.
He's going hard.
You know what I mean? And teams are like trying to figure it out, because then they're like, "What's going on here?" Like, we thought this game was over. What's this guy doing? And then, like, he's literally just dragging them back into these things. And so I think that's going to be impressive once you bring alongside Ethan Ney back into the equation here. I think this team moves into, I dare I not say contention yet, but at least like semifinals contention.
Yeah,
that's what I would say. at least.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, even then, like, they got
I'm
to
talking
get
about one
through.
of the best centers in the league, bro.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that. I think for them, that's just a matter of, I'm not sure what their schedule looks like. I know they play the Eagles in, I think, next week or 2 weeks. I don't know
Yeah.
what the rest of the schedule looks like, though. And so, honestly, like, anything can happen. Lions and
Anything.
Angels could just drop the next, like, 3 games or so, and then you're looking at them at the 3 seed. The
Yeah.
Warriors could drop games, and you're looking at them at the 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that anything is
Yeah.
possible,
Anything
honestly.
is
And
possible.
so,
Anything.
their
They're
season's not
playing.
over.
I'll tell you who they're playing. So they play the Angels, they play the Lions, and they play you guys, the Eagles, and they play the Knights. So.
Yeah, so you know what? I think it's a lighter schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lighter schedule. I think the Lions and Angels definitely are the more favorable games to look forward to. Same with the Eagles. I think that's a favorable game.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, the Knights obviously are the 2 seed, but even then, I can see that being a favorable game, especially if Ethan Ney is back, which he should be back by then,
Yeah.
obviously.
No, he's
So
supposed to be
I
back
think,
next game. So.
yeah, there you go. So I think that this is a good remaining schedule for them.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
it. They go and they hunt for that first win, and that's how the momentum starts, right?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Obviously, here we got some time not on our side right now, so I'm gonna speed through some things. We may not get to some things either, so just bear with me. We might save the awards for the next pod, so I'm gonna keep moving it here. But I guess the next question would be, what was one of the most exciting matchups of the season so far that you've seen?
Lions versus Angels, if I'm not mistaken. That was the game that went to overtime. I think it was
Yeah.
Ezekiel hit like some clutch under the basket layup to send it to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man, not overtime. I'm trying to go home early. But then, like, as a basketball fan, I'm like, hold up, this is cinema, And it was a good game because both of those teams, they're not like a crazy team offensively. So it's kind of more so like a dogfight, like these
Mm-hmm.
guys are like, they have good players, but they don't have like, the Lions are definitely not a 3-point shooting team. I can tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? They get their buckets inside. They got the athletic boys. They got
Yep.
Josiah,
Yep.
Riley. Like they get their buckets inside,
Inside. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
got good defense. Same thing with the Angels. They're not a crazy 3-point shooting team either, for real. And so kind of just watching, like, it gave off, like,
2000s vibes?
scrappy, like, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, scrappy, like, grit and grind, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're trekking through the mud type of thing, So
Yeah.
it was a good game to see. I enjoyed that game for sure.
Yeah. No, that definitely was one of the top games to watch for sure, and the only overtime game I think we've seen so far this season.
Yes, yeah.
So that's big. What would you say? Do you see any new rivalries that are beginning to develop this season
Between teams?
Yeah.
I would say so, to be honest. I think
Okay.
that this is more of it's a more calm league. I think there isn't really many storylines between the players. More so storylines like, yeah, no, I wouldn't say there's any crazy rivalries. I think there's obviously like, there will always be the rivalry of like when it comes to the finals matchup. Like I think the Strikers and True North have a forced rivalry just because they met each other in the finals and the OCC. And if
Yeah.
I'm the Strikers, like I'm looking like I want True North, you know what I'm saying? Because they beat us in the OCC. Yeah, we beat them in the finals, but I want True North every single time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, like I don't really see a rivalry between anybody, honestly. I think it's like, no, I don't. And I'm looking at all the teams here, looking like to see. But I think it's more so a mellow season in terms of rivalries. For sure.
That's fair. That is fair. I think, I agree with you. I think the only one that obviously you already said it, Strikers True North. I think that's going to be a rivalry. I don't even know if they meet each other in the regular season, but I think it's going to be a rivalry come playoffs if they meet. I'm actually going to take a look here because I'm quite curious to see if they meet each other. They don't meet. So
that's even better.
Yeah. They gotta wait. Try to have a rematch. Man, we might have like a new era upon us, like here of this. Like, you know what I mean? Like the True North Strikers era, and I like it, bro, because I lived to see True North come into themselves and have an era. Like, we had an era previously, but it wasn't long lasting, right? We had that one championship fall 2023, and then we had a few struggle seasons there, and then Liam retired, and then it was like this whole rebuild happening again, and then Keel stepped
Mm-hmm.
at the plate, and that was kind of the beginning of the I guess
Of yeah,
preparation of this new era. So strikers have kind of been since Braden Taylor Smith stepped onto the scene.
yeah,
They stepped
they've been
onto
up
the
there.
scene. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. And even though in his retirement after the 2 seasons he played, they're still like he almost like obviously now he's like their student coach, like intern coach there, and he's setting up like he's almost like set this team up for success.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so that's
for
been
sure.
pretty impressive to see too. But yeah, I guess for you, what are some of the upcoming games that you're excited for seeing that are coming up, matchups that are coming up down the pipeline? What are you excited for, bro?
I'm looking forward to a lot of games for the Eagles. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to the Eagles and the Flames because if listen, only because Nathan and Aiden are there. I think if Nathan and Aiden
Okay.
were on a different team, I would be excited. Like if they were on the Warriors, I'd be excited for Warriors versus Flames, just because
Yeah,
it's always
yeah,
fun to
yeah.
see them play against the team that they spent pretty much their entire
Their whole
careers.
career thing.
Especially
Yeah.
because like this is Nate's
Last
last
season.
season, right? So
Yeah.
it's nice to see him play the Flames one last time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that game and hoping maybe I can get him to drop like 60 or something. I don't know.
Hey, break the record.
Break the
Jeez.
record, man. I don't know. But yeah, I always look forward to seeing Nate play against the Flames. It's always weird to see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we were always under the impression he'd be a Flame for life.
I know. I know.
So it's definitely interesting for sure. I think as well, I'm not sure if do True North and the Warriors play at all. I'm not sure if they meet this season. I
I
can't
don't think so.
remember.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Well, now it
Yeah.
sucks because it's like the top teams, they're not really meeting. Like
Yeah.
even like the Strikers and True North, they're not meeting this season.
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah.
what's a good matchup? It already happened, but Knights versus Flames. I always actually like
Oh,
the Knights versus Flames.
yeah.
We got that last season where we played the
Yeah.
Flames twice, and it's always a good matchup to play against the
Mm-hmm,
Flames
mm-hmm.
and to see the Knights play. I don't know, like that purple and orange
Yeah.
type of color. I don't know. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
matchups. But
Yeah.
that already happened, but still, I'm just looking now. I just remembered that they play, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
I'm.
also kind of want to see like the Eagles versus Warriors because we
Mm,
were gonna touch on this. I'm sorry if I have to bring this, but my MVP ballot,
yeah.
I got Nate, and it's a 2-man race this season for me.
Okay.
But
Okay. Hit it, bro.
it's a 2-man race, but there's an asterisk.
Okay.
If the Eagles can finish the season above 500, then I've got Nate in my MVP
Gee.
ballot. If not,
Gee.
I'm giving the early MVP. It's Parker's.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Early
Wow.
MVP. I'm giving it to
Okay.
Parker.
Okay. Then we have to talk about this. Let's just move here.
We
Let's throw
can. We
everything
can
else.
pivot away. But that's
Let's
the only reason why I was excited to
yeah.
see Eagles versus Warriors because those are
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
MVPs battling it out.
No, let's get.
But
I think
yeah,
this is
we can go
maybe.
for that.
Yeah, let's go for that because I think that might be a great place to end the pod.
Good
Anyways,
pivot. Yeah, for
we're
sure.
at an hour, and I think this is
For
exciting.
sure.
People want to hear this.
Yeah.
So I would say, first of all, as being one that had coached Parker in his early years, in
Mm-hmm.
his formative years, and
Yeah.
getting to see him develop into the player that he is, I am incredibly impressed.
Oh, for
Parker,
sure.
if you are watching this, Parker, man, you gotta be so proud of yourself, man. This is
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. I don't think that
Yeah.
you would have sat there back in 2022, in the fall of 2022, summer of 2022, and it said that, hey, Parker, you know what? In 2026 summer season, you are gonna be an MVP candidate. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. That's
No.
incredible, bro.
I was thinking
You know what I
about
mean?
that too. Yeah. Like from when
It
he
might be
first came in.
it might be one of the biggest development stories I've seen. Like
Oh, for sure.
I'm thinking of like the developmental stories of what we've seen. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can throw a Keel into the mix. I think Keel can be thrown into the mix for that for sure. But when I'm talking about developmental stories of players that, they actually had to develop into that to become that.
Yeah.
It didn't come very quickly. Sorry, I dropped my water bottle there. But it
Okay,
didn't come
man.
very quickly. But I would definitely say Parker is on top for me. In that
100%.
sense, man.
100%.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Crazy seeing him first game. And I think he had like 20 in the first half, the first game of the season. I was like, that
Crazy.
brother could go for 40, bro.
Wow.
Like I remember looking at the box score. He was hitting threes, getting to the cup. Like he was
Everything.
unguardable.
Everything. I don't think you can stop him.
Yeah.
and
No,
he's
and you know what the
grown.
thing is? He's grown and he's a good player on both ends of the floor. He plays
Facts.
defense and he plays offense. And that's the thing that you always respect when it comes to the
Yeah,
MVPs is that they
yeah,
got to be two-way and play defensively and offensively, you know. So he's up there for my MVP.
yeah.
He's leading my MVP race right now.
Makes sense to me. He's also a leader, which I think is
Yes,
one
and
thing that
he's a
people.
great leader too. Hearing him
Yeah.
on the court, like even with guys who may not have like the ball knowledge that he has, he directs them. He tells them like if there's a screen switch, like help side. Like he's a good leader. He's a tremendous leader,
Mm-hmm.
tremendous player, and that's all the qualities you need for an MVP. So
Hey
he's
man, no,
definitely number one.
talking about the MVP, and we all, I think we both can agree that Parker is on top right now in the race.
Hundred
Right?
percent, 100%.
And if we had to talk, as we talk about that, like, what do you think in terms of, the future face of the league? Because we seem to always have this conversation and we haven't locked it in yet. I feel like it's just like the
Yeah,
NBA right now where it's not locked in. I feel like we
yeah,
haven't locked it in yet. But like, who do you think, man, is going to be the future face? You have Nathan Landing last season retirement coming.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the old era is almost completely faded out.
Oh
Like they're
yeah,
almost all
for sure.
retired, bro. They're about
Yeah.
to retire after this season. So we have a whole new era here. Who's taking that from the players that you see around our league right now?
Honestly, that's a good question. I think that's a hard question to say who the face will be because it also comes down to availability throughout the season. Like, I need to see players who pull up consistently. That's
Yeah,
the one thing. Like when I say consistently, I mean they're here summer season, they're here fall season, they're here
yeah,
winter season.
yeah. Like a
That's the
Nathan.
thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
Nathan, like the Stockton, like guys who were
Yep.
there because
Every season.
yeah, because it's hard to give face of the league and then like you played like 2 seasons and you take your summer off,
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's a difficult question, and I feel like I haven't seen that yet. Because Parker could be the face of the league, but then
Could
Parker
be.
could not come back next season, and then you're like, well, our face of the league can't not be here next season because now we don't
Yeah,
have a face of the league, and now we're having this convo again.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
definitely hard. I don't know. I wouldn't say I have an answer for that question yet. I'll
Yeah,
definitely have to see next season who's here.
I think we toyed with the ideas of a few players in the past of like the Ryder Tatums and Keela
Yeah,
Wilsons and
that's the
things like
thing.
that. It's being potentials to come up, but again, you're right when it comes to that consistency. I feel like Ryder's building a consistency season wise. I think it's just a continued consistency in terms of
In terms of statistics.
statistics and his
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
matters the most. I think
yeah,
that's and I love Ryder, man. Like that guy's game is
yeah.
fluid, bro.
It's
His game is
phenomenal.
fluid, bro. It is
He
just
doesn't miss.
it's impressive, bro. He gets to his spots and it's like butter. It's
Yeah,
just like it's just impressive to watch, man. His footwork is phenomenal. He's in the mid range
yeah,
doing his thing.
yeah,
But I think when we talk about that, we just need to see more of that consistency out of that. And hey, who knows? What
for
if
sure.
in the next 3 games Ryder takes a breakout here?
Hmm.
Has some crazy next 3 games, which is very possible for him.
Yeah.
Just even from listening to our podcast, who knows what could happen, right?
Yeah, no, I was definitely thinking about that as well. I think that if Ryder Tatum was having a season that he had like last season,
Mm-hmm.
he would definitely be the front runner for face of the league. But I just think with how this season's playing out, I can't give him that yet.
Hey, you're right. You're right. Yeah. And one last question before we go. When you look at the new players in our league, the kind of like the rookies this season,
Yeah.
who's standing out to you, man, and why?
I gotta really think here about the. You know what? Yeah, I really like. He's on the striker. What's his name? I think it's Leland Snyder,
Leland,
if I'm not mistaken.
Leland
Yeah,
Snyder.
I
Yep.
think he's. I'm pretty sure him and his brother. I'm pretty sure this is their first time in the league, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. That's what Clark
It
was
is.
telling me. I really like Leland's game. He's a good, not role player. I don't want to say he's a role player. Like he's a good all around player. Like
Yeah.
he does
Yeah.
what's needed in that game. Like I
Yeah.
don't believe he wasn't really against the Angels.
13.5
Like he
points.
wasn't. Yeah, right. But even against the Angels, like he wasn't. To me, I didn't feel a presence there.
Mm. Mm.
Like I think that Angels game, like it was all Adamo and it was Alex who were going crazy that game,
Mm-hmm.
and I I didn't feel like he was present. But then against the Eagles, like the rim protection was good. He was locking
Yeah.
up Aiden. He was hitting threes, getting to the cup, and so that's really impressive to see. I'd say he's definitely up there for rookies for sure.
Yeah. I like him too, man. Another player
He's good.
I really like that's been impressing me. Excuse me, that was kind of like this player. I didn't know what he was gonna be. It was Tyler Menace. Tyler Menace is another player on the Knights who's been a great another player that I would say is like an all around player, support player that's been really impressive this season.
Yeah, no, he gave us a hard time.
He's very impressive, man.
Yeah.
His confidence too. He has such confidence with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
That you could see it last game. Like he kind of took over the role of Michael last game.
Yeah, Michael didn't.
He wasn't there. You know what I mean? And he took over the role for Michael last game, and I was like, wow, I'm impressed right now. They're still they literally almost won that game. You know what I mean? So, anyways, just some impressive guys here. I like what I'm seeing. Just even going quickly scrolling through here. I'm looking at, Jeremiah Puel, on True North, another impressive new player that's come on the scene. And I saw him at camp, and I knew his potential. Yeah. You remember him from summer camp, right?
I remember him. I saw him at the draft con. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, weren't you at camp?" Yeah. No, he was very good at camp. You can see he was more comfortable at camp. Like in terms of like some of the other kids we had there, he was he was more comfortable on the court. So it's nice to see him in the league now. I always find it fun when we get like players who are like at the camp or in the skills training when I'm coming to the league. It's good.
Yeah. No, it's always great, man. But anyways, bro, it's gonna be an incredible season. Obviously, we gotta come to the end of our pod here. We've had a lot to cover over a short amount of time, and we didn't hit everything, but that's okay. That's the way it normally goes. So we'll have to just get a few more in here. But you know what? Maybe every now and again, too, Ty, we can get you in on just like a quick hot takes with Ty type vibe. You know what I mean? Just 5 minutes hot takes with Ty. Get you on here so we can just fill in content, for the people. Because you're a CYBL analyst, and we need that.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm down for that.
Yeah. Awesome. Hope you guys are too, eh? Mentions in the comments if you guys are down for that. But yeah, guys, we are gonna sign off here. We are so glad we got to be able to come in and do another CYBL Today pod. We love you guys, and we're looking forward to the great rest of the season. And just a reminder to all you that are watching this podcast that this season our theme has been for this season known. We talk about how we are known by our Heavenly Father, that we are seen by Him, that He knows us, and His desire is that we would know Him. It's to be we're knowing Him, and we want to be known by Him, and so our heart for us this season is that each and every player that comes in this season would just get to know about their Heavenly Father more, know how much He thinks about you, how much He loves you, and the price He paid for you and me. So we love you guys. Be blessed, and we will be back. We will be back real soon for another pod. Take care, guys.
Take care, everyone. Have a good night.